Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to discuss about the gradient descent. How we can use the gradient descent to solve the linear regression problem. So let's start the gradient descent by using this simple example. This is the data set I have where we have experience and the corresponding salary. And I want to create a one regression based prediction model. By using that, I want to create the salary corresponding to the experience. So how we can do that? In a machine learning model, we can create a best fit line. First we will draw the scatter plot, then we will draw the best fit line by using the machine learning technique. So this is the best fit line, and by using this particular best fit line, we can predict the salary. I want to predict the salary of the 2 year of experience. We can do this. If you see that here the experience, if we have 2 year of experience, then our salary would be around $16 per day. So how we can use the gradient descent to fit the best fit line? As we have already discussed how we can use the sklearn and stats module to find the best fit line. And I am assuming that you have already watched out my linear regression based video regarding the stats module and the sklearn. If you have not watched, then please check out my video. I will mention the link in the description. So how we can draw the best fit line by using the gradient descent? So for that, let's understand the linear equation. This is the linear equation y is equal to mx plus c. So if I want to predict the salary, so how we can write the prediction equation? Prediction equation will be your predicted salary equal to intercept and slope and experience. So if I know the intercept and slope, then I can draw the best fit line. So I would have to calculate the intercept and slope, right? If I know that intercept and slope for this best fit line, then we can predict the salary. So we have to first calculate the intercept and slope. I use c is equal to 0, intercept is equal to 0, and then we can try to calculate the by hat, it means predicted output, or we can say the predicted salary. So our equation will be m is equal to slope multiplied by x is your experience. So our equation will be by hat equal to slope multiplied by experience, where c is equal to 0. So by using this particular equation, we can predict the salary. So at c is equal to 0, I have this particular best fit line at any value of m. If I will change the value of m, right, this value of m, my equation will be changed, or we can say my best fit line will be changed. For a different m value, I will get the different line. So this way, by keeping the c is equal to 0, if I will use the different m value, I will get the different best fit line. But how we can decide the best fit line? So for that, we also have to calculate the squared error. It means sum of squared error. That is your by minus by hat. It means actual value and predicted value. So this we have to calculate SSE. Then we can decide at which m I can get the best fit line. So here I am calculating the sum of squared error. And how we can calculate the mean squared error? 1 divided by n sum of squared error. So first, this is your experience, this is your salary. So as you know, we have used c is equal to 0. Then we will iterate different m value, and then we will calculate the MSE and SSE. C is equal to 0. We take m is equal to 0. Then our equation will be your bipred equal to 0. So we get the bipred equal to 0. So it means your by will be your this, and bipred is 0. So we get the squared error. This is your error, right? As you know, if I draw the best fit line, so this will be your error. This is your actual value, and this will be your bipred. So same thing, I'm gonna calculate here. By minus by product. So 16 minus 0. 16 is your by, predicted your 0. So this will be your error. Then we will square the error so that we can avoid the plus and minus errors, because all the errors which are above the line, this particular line, will be positive, and all the errors which are below the line will be negatives. In that case, if we will sum of all the errors, then plus and minus error will be cancelled out to each other. In that case, we will not be able to calculate the correct squared error. So that's why we squared the errors. So this is your squared error, and then we have to sum all the squared errors. If you see, this is the squared error, sum of squared errors, and this is your sum of squared error. And what would be the MSE? MSE will be your divided by n. N is equal to 3. We have only 3 samples, and in that way we can get the 982 MSE. So this way we can calculate the mean squared error taking m is equal to 0 and c is equal to 0. Now change the m is equal to 1, c is equal to 0. Then again we calculate the MSE. Now MSE is 721. Previously we have 982. Then we have this particular line. Now you see, now our MSE is changed. It means it is decreased, and our line is also changed. Same thing, we again calculate the m is equal to 2. You can say our line is changed and our error is also decreased. So this way we will use c is equal to 0, and we will use different m value, and we will calculate the mean squared errors. So we get this particular output. So if you see, m is equal to 0, I am getting this error. M is equal to 1, I am getting this. M is equal to 2, I am getting this. 3, this. So this way we can calculate the different errors at the corresponding m value. So if I use m is equal to, let's range from 1 to 100, then it is not possible to visualize all these scatter plot between the salary and experience, right? So what we can do, we can draw the scatter plot between these particular MSE and m value. By using that, we can check what is the least mean squared error. Let's check how we can do that. If you see here, what I did, this is your mean squared error, and this is your slope, or we can say m. So as the slope increase, if you see, m is equal to 0, I am getting 982, and m is equal to 1, this is your 721. Then m is equal to 2, I am getting this. So as the m increase, your MS is also decreasing, right? And after a certain point of time, or we can say after a certain m value, my MSEs start increasing. So we can say at that particular m value where we get the least squared error, at that particular MSE we can draw the best fit line, because once we get the least MSE, we will also get the m value, and then we will use this particular m value, right? And that particular m value we will use to draw the best fit line. But here if you see, I use c is equal to 0, okay, and use the different value of the m, and by using that we try to find the best fit line. But in real world we have to calculate both c and m value so that we can draw the best fit line. So now question comes, what is the role of the gradient descent here? Gradient descent also use the same technique. By using the gradient descent, we have to calculate the c and m both value. C and m both value. So for that what we do, we calculate the slope, like this particular slope, and by using this particular slope we find at which point I am getting the least slope. Let's see, this is the MSE versus m line, or we can say this is your MSE curve, right? This MSE curve, this is the first slope. Now again we calculate the slope, again we calculate the slope. So we calculate the slope at each m value. So Once we calculate the slope at each m value, then how we can say that at which point we can find the best fit line? So where the slope is almost equal to 0, we can say slope is almost equal to 0. At that point we can draw the best fit line, because at that point our sum of squared error, or we can say the MSE, will also be least, right? So this point is called as your global minima, where we get the least MSE, and also slope is also close to 0. So at this point we draw the best fit line. This type of the best fit line we draw. So this is the concept behind the gradient descent. So let's check how we use the gradient descent to solve the linear regression problem. So if you see here, so this is the linear equation. So this is the function of the cost. We also called as your MSE. You know, MSE is equal to 1 by n summation by minus by pred, then whole square. This is the MSE equation. We also called it as a cost function. If we know the by and c value, then we can predict the by pred by this particular equation. So let's replace this by pred by using this particular value. So our final equation will be like this. So this equation we will use to calculate the m and c value. So how we use gradient descent to find this particular m and c value? So we use the gradient. If you see here, let this is your MSE and this is your m, right? So here we try to find this particular slope, right? This is your m, this is your MSE. It means this particular cost function. If we will take the derivative of this with respect to m, then we can say that would be equal to your slope. So the slope formula will be like this. It means we have to calculate the derivative with respect to m. Then your derivative of the cost function with respect to m will be equal to this. This we can calculate with the help of chain rule. If you will apply the chain rule in this particular equation, you will get this particular output. And chain rule we have already learned in our schooling days. If you want to learn, you can find out all these explanation over the Google, how we drive the chain rule to find this particular derivative. And same way, this equation we will use to find the slope with respect to m. And if this is your c, let's m is equal to 0 and this is your c, in that case our curve will also be like this, right? In that case this particular slope will be your with respect to intercept. So this equation we will use to calculate the c value, right? So let's apply this formula in our linear line equation. If you see here, so this is the experience versus salary. So we have to use the equation y is equal to mx plus c. X we know, right? X we know 3, 4, 6. So we have to calculate the SSE. What is the formula of the SSE? By actual minus by pred. And by pred we know this would be like this. So we can use this value in this particular by pred. So our equation will be by actual minus MSC plus C bracket then whole square. So we will apply different x value and different m value, taking c is equal to 0. C is equal to 0, we can take any value, right? We can take any value of the c. So here I am taking c is equal to 0 so that I can visualize properly. So our equation will be like this. 16 is your by actual minus m x. M is your slope, then x is your 3. So this will be your first sample and this will be your second sample, this will be your third sample. Here if I will use let c is equal to 1.2, then I would have marked like this 1.2 plus then slope multiply by 4 like this. But here I use c is equal to 0. So what we will do, this we use at c is equal to 0. So now what we will do, we will use the different m value and we will calculate the SSE. So how we can do that? So first we have to calculate the derivative so that we can calculate the slope, this particular value. So here you can see what we are doing. This is the SSE equation we have already calculated. Now we have to take the derivative so that we can calculate this particular slope. And at each slope we will calculate the sum of squared error at each slope. So first we have to calculate this particular slope. It means derivative with respect to m. Let this is your with respect to slope, or we can say this is your m. This slope is different, like this slope is different, and this slope is your m, right? So don't be confused. This is the slope, right, with respect to this particular curve, and this slope is your line, this particular line, right? This slope is this. So how we can calculate derivative? Derivative with respect to SSE. So derivative of the SSE with respect to slope will be your, first we have to calculate the derivative of this equation, then this, then this. So we can say first equation is this, second is your this, and third is your this. So we have to calculate derivative with respect to slope for each equation. So what will be the output we will get? We get the output like this. If you see here, this is the output we will get like this. This is the equation of the derivative. So our first equation will be minus 2 by n. This is the cost function of MSE, but here I am using only SSE. So that's why I did not include the n here. So minus 2 xi. Xi means your input 3. Then by actual is your 16, right? This by, then this particular equation, and c is equal to 0. So this we only have to calculate m and x. M is your slope and x is your this 3. So this way we can calculate the derivative for all 3 samples. So this will be your total derivative with respect to slope. So this we will use to calculate the value of slope, or we can say this particular slope, curve slope, like this particular slope. So in this equation what we will do? Let's see how we can do that. So if you see here, this equation I use to find the slope with respect to m, right? And same way we can calculate the slope with respect to intercept, and our equation will be like this. If you see here, here your m will be your 0. So we will get y minus c. Y is your actual and c is your intercept. So that's why I am getting this particular output. So what we will do, we will use the different slope and different intercept value, and we will calculate this particular intercept and slope, because we have 2 derivative equation. We can say this is your MD and this is your CD. We have 2 equation. It means derivative with respect to your M, derivative with respect to your C. So this will provide you the slope of this particular curve, this will provide you the slope of this particular curve, right? So by using some random value of M, or we can say slope and intercept, we can calculate this particular value. How we can do that? That we will understand in a couple of minutes. So what is the benefit of the gradient descent? Because this thing we can also calculate with the help of some different technique. But what is the benefit of the gradient descent? In the gradient descent we use the learning rate, if you see here. So what is the benefit of the learning rate? Why in the learning rate, what we do, because our main aim is to reach at this particular point, right? Our main aim is to reach at this particular point. So what we can do, either we can just jump from this location to this location, but what would be the disadvantage of that? Let's understand this by one example here. Let this is the person of A and he want to reach at this particular point B. So what he can do, either he can jump from this location to this location directly, but what would be the disadvantage? might be if I will move from this location to, might be he will not be reach at the correct minima point. Might be he can reach at this point, might be he can reach at this point, but B need the exact minima, right, where our slope is close to 0. So by in this method B cannot do. Second method is that B can move slowly, right, and B can reach this point, but this will take lots of time. So B will also not use this. So in the gradient descent, what method we use? B, because if you think, right, if you think the equation of the speed is equal to distance divided by time. So how we can, like as a human, how we can say, how we can take the minimum time to reach this particular point and also close at exactly that point. First hour is your minimum time, and second is your reach at exact that particular point, not far away and not far below, exact that particular point. So what we can do, initially we can take the large step, then small step. So if you see here, how we can decide the step size? Step size we can define the slope. What is the slope? Right, what is the slope of this particular here, and the rate. Rate we can think this will come from our mind. So this is the equation of the step size. So how we can calculate the step size? Slope and rate. Rate is your constant, and we have to change the slope. Here slope is steep. So what we can get? We can get the step size high. It means large step size. So initially we take the large step. As this particular slope is getting decreased, we try to take small steps, or we can say baby steps. As we close nearer to this particular point, we also try to start taking very small baby steps, so that we cannot miss this particular minima, right? If I will take this large step, in that case might be I can miss this particular point, I can move towards the C point. So that's why as soon as I reach the nearer to this point, I try to take small baby steps, so that I cannot miss this particular minima. Same technique we use in the gradient descent. Initially we take the large step, and as soon as we reach towards the global minima, we try to start taking baby step, and the step size we calculate with the help of this particular formula. The same thing you can understand. Initially we take the large step, then as we reach towards the minima, we start to take small step, right? So our slope, if you see this particular graph, if you see, as we move from left to right, our slope will be negative, right? So our step size will be this formula. So this is the formula we use to calculate the new value of the m. What would be the new value of the m? Let the initial value be used any random value of the m. In that case, our new value would be your old value. It means old m value minus this is your step size. It means m new will be your m old minus step size. So initially we have the large step size, right, and this is your some random number. So we will move towards this direction. Initially it will be large, then it will be small steps. We will understand by using one example. Just wait some time. So same thing we also do for this particular intercept. Our new value would be your old value minus this particular step size. If you see here, MD multiply by L, this is called as your learning rate. So learning rate decide the step size. So if you see here we have the two variables M and C, and both variable we have to iterate. So initially we take the random value of M and C, and we will calculate the slope, these. different slope at different m and c value, and try to calculate the sum of squared error. And where we get the least slope, or we can say the slope is close to 0, at that value of the slope we get the least sum of squared error. And the next value of the m and c we calculate by in this particular formula. So as you can see here, initially we take the large step, then step size is getting small. So here you can see that I created this particular function in the Python, and this is your input variable, this is your output variable, this is your number of iterations which we will use the different of m and c value, and this is your learning rate which we use to calculate the step size, and n is the number of the samples. So here first I am using this particular equation, y is equal to mx plus c. This is your initial value, m and c is your initial value. These value we will use any random value. Here I use 0, but you can use any random value, 1.2, 1.3, any random value. So as I told you, our cost function is your 1 by n summation by minus byprat whole square. Sum, it means summation, and this is your by minus byprat. Here I am using the list comprehension so that we can get the different cost value corresponding to the different m and c value, or we can say different slopes. So here this is your derivative with respect to m, derivative with respect to c, as per our formula. If you see a formula, minus 2 by n summation xi minus by minus byprat, this is your. So same thing I use here. If you see here, minus 2 by n summation xi by minus byprat, and this derivative with respect to c, and here we are going to use the new m value. This is your new m value, this is your new c value. So how we can do that? Old value, this is your old value minus step size. Step size we calculate learning rate multiply by this particular slope. So first only we have to initialize any random value. Once we will mention this particular any random value, it will automatically calculate the different m and c by using the step size, and at which point we get the least slope, or slope close to 0, or the step size is close to 0. At that point our MSC will be least. Let's see. If you see here, initially first iteration, our m is this and c is this. Our MD, it means derivative, this is your derivative with respect to intercept, and this is your step size. This is your step size with respect to c, with respect to m, and this is your cost. So you can see our cost is getting decreased. As we are using different coefficient, our cost value is also decreasing, right? So by this particular function we can get the coefficient value. Here you can see this particular function, here we can get the coefficient value towards the minima, and at that particular minima we can get the cost value also. It means cost value will close to be 0. Here I only use the 15 iteration, but you can use the 1000 iterations, so you can get the least square error. I just use for the demonstration purpose. So you can see initially our best fit line is this. As our value m is getting changed, or step size is getting changed, our slope is also going to change, right? Our slope is also going to change, and our best fit line will be changed. Initially this is your best fit line, then this, then final best fit line where we get the least square error. At this particular least square error we get the best fit line. So this way we use the gradient descent. So I hope this video would be helpful to all of you. I hope you will like this video. If you will like, please hit the like button and subscribe my channel and share with your friends and colleagues. Thank you.